Rise with India podcast on ET Now.
Good morning and a very warm welcome to this edition of the ET Now Rise with India podcast. I'm your host Rohit, and this morning we are perched within striking distance of the 60,000 mark on Sensex. Meanwhile, in the other hemisphere, America's top CEOs held meetings with Prime Minister Modi in person to discuss investments in a range of sectors. Here's what we're tracking this morning. Dow's best two-day rally in 6 months despite jitters over Evergrande. Asian markets track US gains while China urges Evergrande to not default. Turkish Lira near record lows after surprise rate cut. Prime Minister Modi meets top American CEOs and Vice President Harris on US visit. And CDC panel recommends booster dose of Pfizer's COVID vaccine. Prime Minister Modi began his US visit with a number of meetings with leading American CEOs and highlighted the economic opportunities in India. He held one-on-one meetings with CEOs of Qualcomm, Adobe, First Solar, General Atomics, and Blackstone. Two of the CEOs were Indian Americans, Shantanu Narayan from Adobe and Vivek Lal from General Atomics. Prime Minister Modi and US Vice President Kamala Harris held their first in-person meeting and pledged that the two countries would work together on global health, climate, and security. PM Modi also met his counterparts from Australia and Japan for bilateral talks ahead of the first ever in-person Quad Summit. The Prime Minister will also travel to New York later today and address the United Nations General Assembly tomorrow evening. On COVID Corner today, government has allowed vaccinations at home for those with disabilities, people with restricted mobility, and those with special needs. Such people can be vaccinated at home following the necessary SOPs. So far, 23% of the adult population has received both COVID vaccine doses. US Center for Disease Control panel has recommended that seniors and certain adults with underlying medical conditions should receive a booster of Pfizer's vaccine. The Dow stepped out of a slump with its best two-day rally in over 6 months. Rising confidence in the economy helped the investors. Brent oil hit a near 3-year high at over $77. Benchmark government bond yields posted their biggest one-day rise since March. Easing worries about a complete chaotic collapse of Evergrande also helped the sentiment. There's been no word so far if Evergrande would make the debt payments by the deadline. China is asking local governments to prepare should Evergrande fail. Turkey's central bank has cut its key interest rate. Soon after the decision, the Turkish Lira fell near record lows hit in June. The move could delay Turkey's economic recovery and worsen the inflation problem. It must be noted that the Turkish central bank governor has recently been appointed and is an old loyalist of President Erdogan. Erdogan has openly been demanding lower interest rates. Back home, it was an unprecedented bull charge that saw Sensex knock at the 60,000 level. The record run has taken Nifty to its best day since 21st May. Realty stocks were especially in demand. The Nifty Realty Index is now up 25% in just 3 days. The broader view is that Nifty is headed higher, but a strong bout of profit booking or consolidation can't completely be ruled out. FII's net bought shares worth about 360 crore rupees, while DII's net bought shares worth about 1,170 crore rupees. Let's tell you about the active stocks this morning. Vedanta has said that it intends to delist its ADS from NYSE and terminate the program. Dish TV has said that it is examining a Yes Bank letter that has sought EGM to address investors' concerns. Yes Bank said the company is seeking extension of EGM based on unfounded reasons. Adani Enterprises has incorporated a wholly owned arm called Adani Digital Labs to transform consumer businesses into digital-first segments. Accenture's results have been a blockbuster. It posted a record revenue of about $50 billion, a 14% jump in dollar terms and 11% in local currency terms. Accenture has forecast revenue growth of 12 to 15% in local currency terms for the 2022 fiscal year. The 171 crore rupee IPO of Paras Defense has managed to get 340 times the demand for the number of shares on sale. This is the highest ever subscribed IPO in India's capital market history. The offer was in the price band of 165 to 175 rupees per share. The IPO of India's fourth largest mutual fund, Aditya Birla Sun Life Asset Management, will open on September 29th at a price band of 695 to 712 rupees per share. The AMC has assets under management worth 2.7 lakh crore rupees, and the IPO values the company at about 24,000 crore rupees. And that's all I have for you in this morning's edition of the Rise with India podcast. Thank you for your time. This is your host Rohit signing off. Wish you all a great day ahead.
The Rise with India podcast on ET Now.